Welcome back on this glorious and amazing day, ladies and gentlemen. So let's wrap up with the two types of love and romance, what is healthy, what is unhealthy, and how most of us are in trouble. So very briefly, because I can make this whole long series, but I'll try to do it in 1 or 2 minutes, as the pioneer of the child within us by Dr. Charles Whitefield, that used to be our neighbor here from Florida in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. And he's the one that talks so much about the child within. So basically what happens is what was meant to be, which happens to about 5% of us, is that besides the shelter and food and clothing and education that most of our parents gave us, the most important thing that's not talked enough about is the emotional support and the nurture. All my therapy comes from the hundreds and thousands of people that talk to me all about, not so much even about trauma or sexual abuse. It's more about their parents not being available for them. But in the rare case, that we do have that emotional support and nurture, love, touch, bonding time from parents, there's a huge inner part of the child that grows, that is complete, that is content, and that's okay. That's very okay. These people need two things. They need to be with themselves, time with themselves, and time with other people, because there's two different energies, and as humans, we like to mingle, to connect other people, some more, some less. But we as well need our own time to be with ourselves, to be with our emotions, to be with our thoughts. Most of us can't do that, and we spoke about in different series, most of them can't even do that for 1 minute. So what happens is our parents unintentionally, because they never got it from their parents, they sort of in an indirect way rejected us, not physically but emotionally. They did not take the time when we were little children to nurture the child, because the child at a young age needs an abundance of nurture in order for them to develop properly. So what happens is the body develops by default, but the emotional child, the emotional being, does not develop by default. And as a side note, when people talk to me about so many stories and drama with adults, I spend a few sessions to explain to them that this adult might be 30, 40, or 70, but they're controlled by the child within them. And if the child within them is unhealthy, that child might be a very frightened 4-year young child or 7-year young child. And when I'm giving you 1 minute, it usually takes me 2-3 hours to explain. And therefore, when they get offended, it's not the adult getting offended. You see, you're looking at an adult, but it's only externally an adult. Internally, it's the unhealed child that's controlling that adult. So back to what we were saying before. If you are from about the 5% that got that beautiful nurture, and that's whole, and that's complete, you were someone in your teens that you didn't always have to be on music, or always with friends, or always busy. You were able to drift off and be in your own world with yourself, not running away reading a novel. You were able to be there with yourself. That's extremely healthy. At that time, from the about 5% of us, they as well need love. They need romance. They need to bond. They need to be intimate. But it's like the analogy we gave, I forgot if it was before or last week, of food. It's their content, which means they are okay. So what do they need now? They already have 50% of their own, and now they need more from the other person. And that's totally legit. The problem is what I have seen. This is not about a theory. I've seen it for 30 years, and I see it more and more, and it's so evident to me. 95% of us are lacking, and we don't even know we're lacking, just like the person that's starving doesn't even know that the starving is not a natural starving. It's starving to take care of some emotions, or it's a starving because you enlarge your stomach, and therefore you have to fill up that unhealthy large stomach because it should have not been so big. we're eating so much more than we need to eat. And therefore, there's a lot of pressure or a lot of focus on the one that we love or our spouse to take. And we end up taking so much more from them. Also, we can't be there to really listen to their needs because we are so deprived. I love this word. We are so deprived of love and attention. And we think it's marriage. We're so confused. And like I tell many of my clients, your spouse is not your parent. And this is very confusing. Just like it's confusing with food. When you look at the food, you don't know, is this really for me to eat for my nutrition? Or is this overeating? And you won't know unless you really do quite a bit of therapy. So when I spoke about in this series, it's about focusing about giving. If you would be from the 5%, or if you are from the 5%, you would understand this. It's so simple. You have so much love inside your heart, you're okay. And of course we need that love. And of course we need that romance and sex and everything else that comes with it. But because you're okay, and because you ate, and because your emotional needs were met as a child, and the emotional child has grown up to an adult, not only your physical body, but the emotional child, the first thing you see someone, you say, how could I give them? And not only will you get back because you asked, you're going to get back more. You're going to get back because your love is bouncing back. So not only the love from the other person is coming your way, but you're getting double love. You're getting your own love. So remember, when you come like a dead soul inside of you, you're dead, and you want love, you want someone to embrace you, you're basically putting up a sign, I am so deficient, I don't even know if I could concentrate, if I could even give you. The child in me is dead. I never got enough. Could you please be my mother, my father, and my spouse all in one? Perhaps my friend, because my friends, I had a tough time with friendship anyways. Could you please take care of all that? And that's a turn-off. You might get a little bit. Now imagine if you heal the child within you and you take care of that your parents did not do and you could, and I discuss it in other series, and I might put it into the description. I have two of them I'm thinking about, and I'll put it into the description. When you come into a relationship, you're thinking about two things. You're thinking about, how could I be a good husband or a good wife? And you're also so excited, that part that you couldn't give yourself, because we're very limited human beings. In order to stay humble, how much love we have in our heart from our parents and how much we can give ourselves, we always need to rely on the love and the romance and the affection of another human being. But it's so limited, and therefore my mind is free. So I have two things in my mind. One is giving, one is receiving. But I'm able to think about the giving, and I know I will be receiving. It's not a contract that I make. If I give you this, then you'll have to give me that. It goes automatically. And your enjoyment as humans, that's a whole series for itself. As humans, we actually have a natural good feeling by giving, and therefore we see multimillionaires and billionaires that have everything they want. They volunteer their time to give, to help in soup kitchens, wherever it might be. There's a certain spiritual feeling that we get out of giving. So actually, if you're healthy enough that you can focus on giving, you're getting so much more, because you're giving, plus you're having that spiritual feeling of giving. You could only have it if you're halfway healthy. Plus, you're going to get so much more love and admiration from the one that you're loving and you're giving. And I did mention beginning of the series that we have two roads, one for the people that are married and one for the people that are not married yet or in relationships. I realize I do not have to record for that group because I forgot, but I have another series called Why Relationships Don't Work Out. I think it's 8 or 9 clips, so I will put it as well into the description for all those people that are not yet in a relationship. Thank you so much for joining, and I appreciate all the listeners and the followers and the subscribers and those very few that actually give the thumbs up. That could help the channel. I appreciate it so much. Until the next series, have a wonderful and delightful day, and always remember you're greater than you think you are. And thanks again for joining and listening. Bye now.